Good morning, fourth grade readers. I am just going to get this little video of me out of the way. It doesn't affect our mini lesson. We are going to continue our work for our mini lesson today in reading on historical fiction, lesson 13. And on Monday, we talked about perspective and about how our minor characters can help us understand our story through a different lens. And that's a really important strategy for helping us have better comprehension of all the different sides of our story. Today, we're going to continue working with using strategies to help us better connect and comprehend and engage with our text. So way back when school was in session, we did a unit on biographies. And the biography that I used as the mentor text was one on Leonardo da Vinci. I know you remember from the Who Was series. And we did a strategy with that, with those biographies, where you had an assignment to find out more about what the world was like about the person whose biography you were reading. So with Leonardo da Vinci, we went and did some research in our mini lesson for that lesson on what the world would have been like in the 1450s in Italy. We really tried to get some background information on what the world was like for the person who we were reading about. And today we're going to use a similar strategy, so not exactly the same, almost kind of the opposite. We are going to focus on a teaching point. I can shift between reading fiction and nonfiction texts about a similar situation in history. And I pointed out here for you the situation is the Holocaust. So hopefully that makes sense to you, because in Number the Stars, we are reading about a girl, Anne Marie, but the umbrella of what's happening is World War II, but even more specifically, that the Holocaust is going on. And it's a really scary time for Jewish people because of what was happening with the Nazis. And so we are going to talk about what are ways that we could learn more information about a time or a situation in history. So in our case, how do we find out more about the Holocaust? There's a lot of ways we can do that. We have newspapers, documentaries, magazines, books, the internet, encyclopedia. We live in a digital age where everything is at our fingertips, and we can have full access to whatever we want to find out about. And today we're going to look at two texts. We're going to be reading Anne Frank, and I am going to be using the Anne Frank text as an example and model what you guys are going to do for your assignment. And when you go off to do your own work, you're going to be reading The Passage to Freedom, the Sugihara story. Now, these are both books about two real people in history who lived during the Holocaust. And one is a little girl who, just like Ellen, a Jewish girl, Anne Frank, you've probably heard of her, how her experience of having to hide. And then the Sugihara story is about how one man helped a lot of Jewish people. And we know in our book that the family, the Johansons, they are helping Ellen, and they are helping Ellen's parents. So they relate to our story completely. Now, it's important to organize what we learn. So when we're doing this work and using these strategies, it's really important that we are tracking the information that we're getting from them. So we're going to use one of our tools that we use often in Reader's Workshop, Boxes and Bullets. And I'm going to show you here on mine. This is the page that you will be getting, and you will be using this to fill out for your work on Schoology. All right, so in Boxes and Bullets, we are going to start with the topic. We need to determine what or who our topic is about. So I'm going to get started and come back to this, but hopefully this one becomes pretty obvious right away. So we are going to start with Anne Frank here. Okay, so our topic, Anne Frank. This is easy. This is a story. This is a biography about Anne Frank. So my topic would be Anne Frank. So we're going to go back to the boxes and bullets and get that part filled out. All right, so I am back to my boxes and bullets section, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to type in Anne Frank. Okay, introduction. Anne Frank lived during World War II, which was 1939 to 1945. Her family faced many hardships. She wrote about them in a diary. It was made into a book. Early life. Anne was born on June 12, 1929. Her family was Jewish. They lived in Germany. Okay, so from those first couple pages, what is a detail that you could write down from what we've read so far? Pause the video and tell yourself which detail you think I'm going to choose to write down for my first detail. Okay, the detail I chose was Anne Frank was born in Germany on June 12th, 1929. So if you were right, kiss your brain. Now I'm going to go back to my boxes and bullets and put that information in. Okay, so I've opened up my boxes and bullets, and you can see here, I've got my topic, Anne Frank, and my first detail, Anne Frank was born in Germany on June 12th, 1929. Life there was hard. Many people were poor. The Nazis blamed Jewish people. They discriminated against them. Anne's family moved to the Netherlands. The Nazis took control there too. They sent groups of people to labor camps. Jewish people were in danger. Anne's family decided to hide. They moved to a secret annex. They had to stay quiet, and sometimes they did not have much food. Anne kept a diary. She wrote about her life. She wrote about her thoughts and feelings. And I'm going to stop there and ask you to tell me what is a second detail that I could write down. So, what detail did you think I was going to choose? I am going to write for mine that Anne Frank's family was Jewish and had to hide, and that she kept a diary. So if you were right, give yourself a round of applause. And we're going to go back and put that into our document. So I'm going to go in here and say, Anne's family was Jewish and they had to hide in an annex, that's a secret room, where she kept a diary. Anne's family hid for 2 years. Then Nazis found the annex. They sent Anne's family to labor camps. Many people there were killed. Anne died in 1945. She was only 15. The war ended soon after, and Anne's father found her diary. He helped publish it. Many people read it. The diary helped them learn about this time. And that is the end of the book. So now I'm going to ask you again, what is a third detail that I could get just from those last few pages? So the detail that I'm going to choose from this was that I'm going to write that she died when she was 15, but that her dad published her diary and it became a famous book. That seems like a pretty important detail to me. So if you were right, high five yourself. So I'm going to write in here, Anne died when she was 15, but her dad published her diary, and it became a very famous book. Now, it didn't say it became a very famous book, so if you want to be more specific, you can do that. But I connected the dots when it said that people from all over the world had read it, and it taught them more about the time. Okay, so now off you go. You are going to click on the link to do the read aloud on Sugihara. You also can find this on Epic if you want to go in and just read it yourself. I am giving you the option to listen to it read aloud just because we're all on different pages as far as level, and it is a higher level. It's a kind of a harder book to read. So you can click on the link and watch me do the read aloud, or you can go open it on Epic and read it yourself. Then you're going to click on the link that will bring you to the boxes and bullet sheet, and I want you to fill it out for the Sugihara story. Okay, exactly on following the same steps that we just did. And take your time and don't be afraid to rewatch this exciting lesson. All right, you guys, off you go.